Okay, so as I work on my bathrooms and on my tile jobs, I have to take video, obviously, and a lot of people have asked me, what do I use for equipment? So that's what this video is about. So the camera I'm using right now is a Canon PowerShot ELPH 110S HS, and I don't actually use this one anymore. This is the one I use now. So as I was saying, this is the camera I use for most of my videos when I'm on the job. And the reason I use this is because it's shock resistant and it's waterproof, and I can't use an expensive camera on the job because it gets all messed up. My hands are full of thinset a lot of times, and it's dirty, it's dusty, so I can't use an expensive camera there, because the jobs that I do are actually tile installations. They're not mock-ups, they're actually jobs in houses that people are going to be using. So I have to have a small camera. I can't have a tripod set up because it's going to be in my way. So I use the pole that I showed you, or a small flexible tripod that I can attach to something. For most of them, I got a pole that I can adjust here. And then I got a clamp that I put on the pole, and then my camera has a spot for a tripod access there to attach the access on one on the side. So this is what I use, and I can point this down, turn it, and if it's up against the wall, a lot of times you can't see the screen behind, so important to have a screen that flips up. So this is what I use right now, and this one here, the good thing about this, which is also very important, the microphones are on top. So if you're behind it and you're talking from behind, it receives the voice or the sound very well, because the microphone here and they're not behind. And the important thing about that is, if you're facing the camera and the microphone is behind, then you're not going to get as good a quality sound. So when it's on, that's an important feature. And this one here also has the screen that flips up. So that's actually an important feature, because if you're behind, if it's up against a wall, you can't see what you're shooting at, so you flip the screen up. So that's actually an important thing. And then if the pole doesn't work, I have a tripod, which then these tripods here, they don't last that long because the legs will break off after a while, because they're flexible, you can bend them. But oftentimes I'll stick it in a pipe and put the camera on it and point it wherever I need to point it. Then I have a GoPro that I can also attach to this via some of the accessories. And here's another mount for the pole, just a different kind. And so I use these three cameras when I'm on the job. So I also have the GoPro, which I don't use that often, because this is a very wide angle lens, but I don't use it in the case, because if you put in the case in the microphone, it gets muffled. So I have this bracket that goes around it. This bracket comes off. You can pull this bracket. And that way the microphone is not covered and the sound is pretty good. The microphones, I forget where the microphone is on this. That's right on top here. So this is the Hero 3. So I use this, I don't use this as often, but I do use it occasionally. And I lost the lens cover here, which is not a good thing. I'm gonna have to get a new one. And so this, the case, I don't use the case very often at all. And this also shoots in 1080p. And I set this up on my pole like I showed you with the other cameras. And then, you know, the flexible tripods here, you can use. You can wrap these around things, but these legs on these tripods, they don't last very long. They'll break off. Usually they break off up here. So you know, this works. You can wrap it around a pole. You can wrap it around anything to you know, to get the shot. So I used to use this more extensively now, but than I do now. But the pole works out really well for me. So this is another the cameras I use. And then what I used to use was this one here, ALF 10HS. And this I didn't use for many years, but the problem with this one here is delicate. And I used this one for a lot of years, and both these shoot in 1080p. So the quality of the video is actually pretty good. This one here I used for many years, but the problem with this one is it's delicate. You drop it once, and it's, you know, stuff doesn't work properly as it's supposed to. For example, I turn this one on, right? And if I try to use a zoom, it'll shut off. Because it's like out of alignment here or something or other. It still works, it's just that I can't use a zoom. And this also has the microphones, a microphone on top, so the sound quality is good, and the it shoots in 1080p. So I use this for many years. In fact, I have a few of these that, you know, over the years, I don't even know this one still works. I just kept this one because they get beat up, as you can see, they get thin set on it, and then after a while, you know, this one here, sometimes the reason I got rid of this one is because most of the time it wouldn't even start. So, and then I used some other cameras, but they weren't really good for what I do. So, this is the one that I use when I'm in a closed or a controlled environment where there's no dust, or I'm at home, or I'm shooting something, setting up something that is not going to be in a dirty place. And this is the EOS Rebel T6i, and this one here, to get good audio, you have to have a separate microphone. This obviously comes off, plugs into the side here. And you know, this has interchangeable lenses. I'm no expert on cameras, as you guys can tell. It's just the setup I have. Another thing that's important is to have plenty of storage, like a big SD card, and plenty of batteries. These batteries are for the camera I'm using here, for the Canon ELPH. And then I have a backup battery. I only have two for this here because these actually last quite a long time. I only need two of those, and you got to make sure that they're always charged. And then I also have a couple of batteries for the GoPro. And I'll put a link to all these cameras in the description. And as always, don't forget to subscribe, and also don't forget to check out my new online store for tile-related products, dimsmart.com. I'll put a link in the description for that. And thanks a lot. This is, you know, I'm just not a camera guy. I'm not a professional photographer. I just make videos of tile installations. And this is what I use. Not sophisticated at all, but it works for me.